Alright guys, what's going on? We are back with Garrick's deck. So let's go through this thing real fast because whew, I've done 3 deck analysis today already. So let's go over this. Woohoo. Okay. So Ranker. Ranker is good. Ranker's always good. +2/+0 has trample and is put in a graveyard, return Ranker to its owner's hand. Definitely worth keeping. Savage Summoning can't be countered. The next creature spell you cast this turn can be cast as though it had flash, can't be countered, and enters the battlefield with an additional counter. This is awesome. This is what I wanted the card in the Elf deck to be. But I'm going to keep Savage Summoning in there because it's solid. Search your library for a green creature card with converted mana cost X, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Or then shuffle your library, shuffle Green Sun Zenith into its owner's library. So I guess you shuffle twice. But anyway, Green Sun Zenith is not bad. We got to see what our curve looks like a little bit. If we can get enough in the 3 mana cost range, I'm going to definitely keep Green Sun Zenith in here. Prey Upon is your removal spell. Target creature you control fights a creature that you don't control. So you got to run all 4 of these. So it gives us some 1-drops, unlike the last Garrick deck. It gives us a couple 1-drops, which is pretty solid. Fauna Shaman. This is the deck where Fauna Shaman is good because we're going to rely on a lot of these big, heavy hitters to come out and win the game for us. So I'm going to leave the Fauna Shaman in there. 3/3s for 2 mana are not bad. They're actually getting played in Standard right now, probably because of this up here, because of the devotion to green. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but whatever. I do like it better than a 3/2 trampler. They got a little bit more on the butt end. They don't have trample, which is a downfall, but they still hit pretty hard. Revive, return target creature or return target green card from your graveyard to your hand. As of right now, sure. Whether or not it's going to stay in there, who knows. Nature's Lore, search your library for a force card and put it onto the battlefield. Not tapped. So you can play this on turn 2 and then still have mana open to play, a 1-drop. Which there aren't really any 1-drops we can play. But you could use it as your last 2 mana and then use a Prey Upon. So it's still pretty good. I like it. I'm going to leave all 4 Nature's Lore in there. Predator Ooze is amazing. You put a Ranker on it and you just crush people. The Gloom Widow, 3/3 for 3 mana. Can only block creatures with flying. It's a little iffy to me, so I'm going to say no to these guys. Eternal Witness enters the battlefield. Search your library, or you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad at all. There's a lot of cards that are worth bringing back. You go like turn 2 Nature's Lore, turn 3 Eternal Witness, turn 4 Nature's Lore, into like whatever you want. Leatherback Baloth is huge. People have a hard time dealing with him just because of this gigantic ass of his. He's a 4/5 for 3 mana. And I wish he was in Standard right now because of that. So, we have Sacred Wolf, Hexproof 3/1. Not bad, but he just dies real easy. Feelings on these are always the same. Our creatures are big already. I don't feel like Beastmaster's Ascensions need it. We also don't have that many creatures that are going to be attacking early. Like, that fits more into the Elf deck than anything else. But the Elves already pump themselves so well, so. Elephant Guide. 3 mana, +3/+3, and when an enchanted creature dies, put a 3/3 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. It's not bad. I could go with that. The Oaken Form, though, is just not the same thing. So I'm going to say no. Pulse of the Tangles is a great way to stay in shape. If your opponent gets out of control, it's a great way to just be like, here's a 3/3, Pulse comes back to my hand. Here's another 3/3, Pulse comes back to my hand. You have a creature you don't want to attack with, and I'll just attack you with both my guys. Oh, they died. Pulse. Pulse. And just get out of control with pulses. Master of the Wild Hunt is a very solid removal spell, as well as I get a ton of creatures, so I definitely say keep Master of the Wild Hunt in there. Thangrian Firstborn. When he attacks, you put +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature. Lets you pump him. He's a 5/3 when he attacks, so he's not bad. I'm going to leave him in there as a 1-of. That's not bad. Cudgel Troll, 4/3 for 4 mana with Regenerate. Good way to outmaneuver your opponent. Brawn is a 4 mana 3/3 that has Trample. When it dies, all your other creatures get Trample, which at this point seems like a really good card. So I'm going to leave Brawn in there. Destroy target non-creature permanent for 4 mana. No thank you. I mean, you can use it to destroy your opponent's lands and set them back a little bit, but we're focused on big creatures. So let's get out of our 4 mana cost, go straight into our 5s. And then Hunt the Weak, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and then fight. I mean, it's more removal. I'm not going to complain about that. Vorpede, awesome. Vigilance, Trample, Undying, 5/4 for 5 mana. I like it a lot. Intimidate, other green creatures you control have Intimidate. I'm going to say no. 5 mana is a lot for a 4/4. I mean, he's a 4/4 that might be unblockable depending on the deck you're playing against, but probably not. There's a lot of cards that have green, and then there's a lot of easy ways to remove him. If you swing in thinking, oh, my creatures are unblockable, and then they respond and kill him and then block, you could run into a lot of problems. 5 mana for a 4/4 with Vigilance and Reach, not really as good as it could be. Overwhelming Stampede, X is the greatest power among creatures you control, no thanks. Overrun, though. I think we'll run a 2-of Overrun. We have 26 creatures in the deck so far. I'm going to take out the Enlarges again. Target creature gets +7/+7 and gains Trample until on a turn. It must be blocked. Just, your creatures are huge anyway. People are going to block them anyway, and if Brawn's in your graveyard, they have Trample. Rampaging Baloth, whenever you play a land, you get a 4/4. He's a 6/6 Trampler for 6 mana. Awesome. Primal Crux is 6 mana for at least a 6/6 Trampler, and if, this is basically Devotion. It's just power and toughness equal to the number of Devotion. For the people that are just getting into like Theros block and need to know what Chroma is, Vigor, whatever you want to call it, is dealt to a creature. If damage that would be dealt to a creature you control other than Vigor, prevent one of that damage and put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevent this way. He's a 6/6 for 6 mana, a little out of control, but he's just a big bullet magnet, and you can't ever attack with him, or you risk him dying. I'm going to say no. We kind of got to ease down on the 6s a little bit. Our 5s are real good, our 4s are real good, but we can't have too many 6s. We have to we can't be like 9, 9, 6, 7, 3, 15. And that's not what we want. Primeval Bounty, whenever you cast a creature spell, you put out 3/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you put out 3/3. When you cast a non-creature spell, you put 3 counters on a creature you control. And whenever you play a land, you gain 3 life. This is awesome, especially in a sealed format like this. It gets you out of control real fast. Play the top card of your library revealed. If it's a creature, you can cast it. 7/7 for 7 mana. It's a little too expensive, but I'm going to say no. We got better cards that we can get in here. Like this Protein Hulk. Dies. Search your library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost 6 or less, and put them on the battlefield and shuffle your library. Total converted mana cost 6. What could we grab? We could grab a Rampaging Baloth. We could grab a Master of the Wild Hunt and a 2/2. We could grab a Predator Ooze and Leatherback Baloth. Or we could grab a Predator Ooze and a Eternal Witness and return the Protein Hulk to our hands. I like it. I say we keep that in there. Regal Force, 7 mana, 5/5, enters battlefield, draw a card for each green creature you control. Doesn't really fit in with our theme of just a couple really big guys. Wormskull Forger, enters the battlefield, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures. Really expensive, so I'm going to say no. Craterhoof Behemoth, amazing. He just stomps people. Living Hive, deals combat damage to player, put that many 1/1 insect creature tokens on the battlefield. It's 8 mana for a 6/6, no thank you. Terastodon is your way of destroying things that you can't deal with. non-creature things that you can't deal with, or just by destroying your lands and getting 18 damage for 8 mana. So yeah, it's not bad. And if he's the cap of the deck, there's good things for us. So we'll get rid of Biorhythm. Again, your goal is not to have a ton of creatures out, so Biorhythm does no purpose being in the deck. Decree of Savagery, put 4+1/+1 counters on each creature you control. You cycle it, you can put 4 counters on something, but it's still 6 mana. A little too expensive. And Crush the Worms, 9 mana for 3 6/6s, or 8 mana for 18 damage. It's actually the same amount of damage, just costs less. This one you have to sack lands. This one costs 1 more. I'm going to say no on the Crush of Worms, just because this is where I want our cap to be, is at 8. So we do have a couple big guys. You know, these are our huge guys down here. I'm okay with that. I consider the 4P a huge creature as well. So those are the late game bombs. We have 5 cards too many in the deck, though. Ugh. So I'm going to get rid of the Elephant Guide. We're going to want to keep as many creatures in here as we can. I'm going to get rid of 1 Nature's Lore. I'm going to get rid of 1 Prey Upon, because that still leaves us 3 and 2. That's 5 removal spells. I'm okay with that. The Savage Summoning is still good. The Rancors are solid. Actually, 3 of Rancors I think too much, so we're going to go down to 2 Rancors. And then 1 more card that we need to remove. And that would have been the Brawn that we would have just unlocked recently. But I'm not going to remove Brawn because he's the 3/3 for 4 mana that when he dies gives everybody trample. And that just kind of throws your opponents off real fast. I think I'm going to get rid of the Revive. It's nice to bring something back, but at the same time, you know, if your opponent's dealing with your big creatures easily, then they're probably just going to deal with it again. I mean, that's the ideal scenario, is your opponent's not going to be able to deal with them again, and you're just going to win when you drop your big creature again. But you don't want to waste a Revive on something early, especially because you've got, you know, 2 Eternal Witnesses. You don't really need the Revive. That's my feelings on it. I don't know, so here's the list. Let's get through it. We got 2 Rancors, 1 Savage Summoning, 1 Green Sun Zenith, 3 Prey Upon, 1 Fauna Shaman, 2 Kalonian Huskers, 3 Nature's Lore, 1 Predator Ooze, 2 Eternal Witness, 1 Leatherback Baloth, 1 Pulse of the Tangles, 1 Master of the Wild Hunt, 1 Fangreed Firstborn, 2 Cudgel Trolls, 1 Brawn, 2 Hunter of the Weak, 1 Vorpy, 2 Overrun, 2 Rampaging Baloth, 1 Primal Crux, 1 Primeval Bounty, 1 Protein Hulk, 1 Crater of Behemoth, 1 Trastodon. I don't think we talked about Overrun very much, but Overrun is just more for the +3/+3 for everything that's out there. The trample is a nice benefit, but if you have a whole bunch of like little guys out there, or if you wait for this to go on too long, then the Overrun's just huge. So let me know what you guys think of the deck. Let me know what changes you'd make, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.